Good morning, everybody. My name is Amanda Kent, aka Amanda Please, and I am a DJ, entertainer, music producer, and rapper. Also a student here at USF in Tampa. My major is civil engineering, and today I am here to discuss my ideals on identity and how my personal reaction statement on how I feel the word identity is coined in today's society and what people's reactions are to it. So identity to me is a figment of my imagination, and yet it is also the very core of who I am. Ambiguous is one way to put it. You know, as growing up, I really struggled a lot with my own ideals of my personal identity and how to absorb the assumed identities of people like my parents and my siblings and my friends, and how they perceived me and how that affected me, the way that they perceived my identity, because sometimes I didn't feel those things about myself. You know, I didn't feel like those were parts of my identity, but they viewed those things as a part of me. And so it was really difficult for me to find out like who I am, or you know, what's important to me, my values and things like that. And then also to find the confidence to say, you know, I know you think that about me, but that's not who I am, and I know who I am, and I'm confident in who I am, and that is not me, you know. And so that took a lot of time and effort for me to get to that place. I read a lot of books. My favorite book, it's called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hayes. It is a spiritual self-help book, and it talks about her journey to self-discovery and how, you know, in her younger years, she was just not the happiest person, and she always put the blame on other people and didn't take responsibility for her actions and just always felt like a victim. But then one day she woke up and she said, I'm not a victim. I'm going to take control of my life, and I'm going to figure out who I am and what makes me happy and be grateful every day. And it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful story. And she tells you about her life at the end. And so, you know, growing up, I struggled to fit into different social groups. I went through different phases where I assumed different styles for a while. For example, I always wore camo and cowboy boots, and listened to Taylor Swift and country music, and that was just like my thing for a long time. And then, you know, as I got into high school, I started to want to wear a lot of makeup, and I'm talking like cover my whole eye in black eyeliner and just have like tons of just black makeup and black pants and black everything. And I was just very like gothic, or emo is what people would call that social classification or social identification. And then I eventually started to phase out of that to where I realized that I didn't need makeup to identify or feel beautiful, and that I needed to learn to love myself without wearing any makeup, so that I didn't have to identify in that way, and I could just be natural. I could identify as natural and feel confident and beautiful in my own skin. And then I went through a phase where I really just didn't care what I wore. I wore a bunch of hand-me-downs, you know, and it didn't bother me. And then now, and I did a lot of thrift shopping, and now I just, now I'm kind of reinventing my style again and my sense of identity again, in the sense that my entertainment career is taking off, and people want to see me in nice clothing and photo shoots and things like that. So I kind of have to figure out what type of style I would like to approach, and like how I would like to portray myself to others, so that I can figure out, you know, what I like to wear. I've been finding some good ideas from other like female rappers and entertainers, so we're getting there. You know, there was a point in 2020 where I had a little Lindsay Lohan moment, you know. I just got sick of all the assumed identities that people put on me. They said, Amanda with the curly hair, or Amanda the yoga instructor, or Amanda the construction manager, like, you know. And these were just these like little things that people had said, this is Amanda and this is who she is, and I just didn't like it anymore. I wanted to feel a sense of something else that was like, this is the figment of my imagination that I'm talking about. Like, identity is a figment of my imagination, and yet also me in my entirety. Like, so I go and I just shaved my whole head bald. I had a little Lindsay Lohan moment, and I tattooed my skull. You probably can't see them, but there are tattoos on my skull now. And it was really awesome and spiritual, and I just went through so many waves of emotions and how I thought of myself and how people thought of me that didn't really matter anyways, you know. But I just remember feeling unloved at times because I thought I wasn't beautiful, because I had a silly haircut in the middle of COVID, like a bunch of other people, I'm sure. And, you know, that was just a rough time, but I realized that I like my hair now, and maybe I'll shave it again one day for fun, but I'm okay with people identifying me as Amanda with the curly hair because God gave it to me, and it's curly. It is what it is, you know. And many people are stuck in their ways. They like to conform to the ideas that they're not allowed to change, or they're not allowed to behave differently, and that it is more important to always be right, instead of saying, oh, hey, yeah, I was wrong, I want to learn and be better and improve. And I believe that this is like a societal norm that we have formed, and it's not healthy or necessary, and it really just doesn't even make sense. I think that we need to normalize admitting when we're wrong and not feeling like we're bad because we were wrong about something. Like, if anything, you should feel smart because you're asking to be educated further on a topic that you didn't know about. And it's not like it's your fault for not knowing because you never learned it. So I really just don't think there's anything wrong with admitting flaws and moving on and accepting them and saying, hey, I'm not a perfect human like everybody else, and that's just, you know, normal. Now, I do fully respect and appreciate the modern ideals of social norms, or the lack thereof, rather. It's quite comforting to be able to step out of my comfort zone and be this person that I don't even know who she is right now, really. and it's acceptable. People, I mean, yeah, I have haters, but people aren't judging me and telling me I'm bad necessarily, you know. They think it's cool, they think it's awesome, they think it's like hip. So I do have to appreciate, you know, the lack of societal norms. People like to still think that they have certain societal norms and like trying to place people in those places, but we're just inventing new norms every day, so it's all just really ever evolving. So I believe that self-discovery is a positive thing. You know, I have learned my likes and my dislikes. I've created routines. I've set boundaries for myself and others that I didn't have before. Self-discovery is like magic, and the growth that comes along with it is very rewarding and special. And I can't imagine that the creator who loves us so much, that put us here, would want us to refrain from self-discovery, from something so magical that, you know, like, why would he want to take that from us? It just doesn't make sense to me. But I think that one of the most important aspects of self-discovery is owning it and not caring what anybody else thinks of you. Because if you care what other people think of you, then you're allowing them to shape your identity for you. Like, that goes back to, you know, like my parents when I was young telling me that I was a brat, you know. So then I'm gonna grow up and thinking I'm a brat. And in reality, like, I'm a sweetheart. Or my mom says I'm not humble, but my friends tell me I'm one of the most humble people they've ever met in their life. And so when can I take these different opinions of different people and allow them to, like, create my personality based on how I feel about their thoughts towards me? No, don't do that. No. Don't worry about what other people think of you. You have to live your best life. You know, you just have to get out and live your best life. It's so important, because at the end of the day, the only regrets you have are the things that you didn't do. You know, the thing you didn't do because someone else told you not to. Yeah, that's probably your only regret. Tell me I'm wrong. So, and I deal with identity crisis. I have lately found to be interesting is when stars begin to become famous and they allow the fame to go to their head. This type of identity crisis can be the tipping point for many up-and-coming artists that either makes or break them, and it can be difficult to find a place between humble and confident at times, but it can be done. And I guess, like, for me, this was kind of my Lindsay Lohan moment that I had, where I just, you know, I couldn't deal with all of the people coming at me from all these different ways, and I just shaved my head bald. I had an identity crisis moment. And, you know, I took a minute to reevaluate and just kind of gather my thoughts. And it all came back together stronger than ever. But it can be really where it makes or breaks a lot of people, where they either, you know, they come up out of it and they take that knowledge and they do something good with it, or it breaks them down and they just become crippled with anxiety and can't do anything, you know. But, like, for me, all I ever cared about when I was younger was creating a life for myself that allowed me to create art all the time. And that's all that mattered. That's all I cared about. Like, I just wanted to make music and not have to go to work like a normal person every day. And it drove my parents insane, you know. They were like, can't you just get a normal job, sweetheart? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's ingrained in my soul. Had I never chased my dreams of being an artist, I would always feel like a part of me was missing. I would always feel like there is more to discover, and so in turn I would feel incomplete. And in this way, I believe that it is beneficial for the human race to evolve into a place where we are no longer repressing our true selves. The evolution of identity of the human race is unique and beautiful like a snowflake, and also very important. I'm so grateful for this time to reflect, and I think that reflecting is very important, and it helps us to further develop on our ideas that we have formed and further process. And it's really just, it's almost like creating like a to-do list, an unorganized to-do list of your mind, and then organizing all those things, and then, you know, you can branch off of them. So reflecting is really just beneficial and positive. My music instructor, Sensei, very intelligent man, he tells me that I should write a freehand page of writing every morning when I wake up, just reflecting on whatever comes to mind. It doesn't matter. It can be random. It can be not even full and complete sentences. It's just straight, just whatever comes to mind, writing it down on paper. And it actually is proven to help people evolve and develop more and develop their skills, and also just be more mentally stable, because you're writing out all your thoughts and things, and it helps to manage all those thoughts in your mind. So personal reflections are very highly beneficial and awesome. Well, I think this is enough for today, you guys. Much love. It's been a great semester. Thank you. My name's Amanda. Please check me out. Bye.